Hello, everybody, and welcome to another session of the Intuitive Body and Soul. We have had a really busy season here, haven't we? There's an awful lot going on, and we've done a number of TIBS TV mini chats and trying to help people get through the pandemic and all this good stuff. But we've also continued some of our regular programming. And most of you know that in my other life, I'm an artist, okay? And Deb's father is an artist. We're trying to get her to be an artist. It's in there somewhere. We're getting it out. So today we have something really special for you. This is a young man I met, and I bring up artists because one of my students said, I'm going to a spirit paint night. Is that what you called it? And she's like, why don't you come? And so we did. I went, Deb went, the student went, and her mother went. Yeah, I gotta drag her everywhere. And what we found was this very enchanting young man who's like 12 or something. He'll tell you he's older, but he's really only 12. Very unique, certainly. And he led us through a meditation. And then we actually did paint a picture, which I do have here. I will go grab it and show it to you. But before I do, and without any further ado, I want to introduce to you Nick DePampilis. He's from Windham, New Hampshire, and he is a crystal healer, amongst other things. He's very eclectic and has a lot of stuff going on, so much stuff going on. He's so very interesting. We thought we'd maybe do a 3-parter, but we'll tell you a little bit more about that. For right now, we want to bring Nick on, and let's see. Are you there, Mr. Nick? Oh,
Hello.
There he is. There he is. Hello, everyone. See, I told you he's 12, right?
I'm 12, yeah. I'm
How old are you really?
25.
20 something. How old?
23.
23.
Oh,
23.
yeah.
That looks 12. And that'll be a good thing when you get older. If you look 10 years younger when you're older, you'll be happy about it.
You know what's funny? I've always been told that I look older, so it's funny that you think that I look younger.
Well, it depends on one's point of view. From this age, you look 12, trust me. So welcome, and thank you for agreeing to be on the show. We found you so immensely interesting. I think we were talking about it for a long time.
You know, the energy that you guys brought to my class, that class was the other class. Seriously, you guys all killed it with the paint night.
Nice.
You all brought your 100%. And you channeled the higher self energy and you brought it down and you put it on the canvas in various ways. And it came out beautiful.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Now, this is something you've been doing, right? So how did you come up with this? How did you just, are you moved? Are you guided? How did you decide to do something like this? Because it really is very engaging.
I would say that it's innate. Like I've always liked art. I've always been an artist, and I've always been kind of like an intuitive spiritualist, you know. So I'm just drawn to do my artwork in that way, and channeling is just the way that it flows for me. That's just where it comes from.
That's so cool.
So yeah, that's just the way I do art, I guess. Even if it's not for the class, that's the way I'm doing it.
That's the way you do your own. You know something, I can relate to that. When I was younger, I have a DBA. Jones Art Gallery is a legal business in Haverhill. And when I was younger, people said to me, you have to choose one thing. And so, you know, I'm very interested in energy work as well as art. So I would do just the art and I'd miss the energy work. And then I'd say, oh, okay, it must be the energy work. So I'd do the energy work and I'd miss the art. And it wasn't until I combined them pretty much the way you're saying you combine them that I actually felt fulfilled and things started to move along a little bit better.
Well, that's how I feel guided. I feel guided in that sense to bring that into people's lives. I want people to bring in this creative aspect of themselves.
Why?
Just this expression, so that they can feel more at home in their environment, in their life. I want them to feel more at peace, more happy, more whole. And I think that art and spirituality do that in that session, you know, and that for that time, I think that helps people in that moment.
Okay, so So now you're talking about taking people, and a lot of people are not meditators. They don't meditate on a regular basis. So now you're taking this group of people and you're leading them through a relaxation procedure. And what are you saying to them? How do you get them to connect? How do you do a couple of words? Like, what if people come and see you, what can they expect?
Well, I have everybody close their eyes and I have them connect through the roots of their feet all the way down to the center of the earth. And I have them draw up that crystalline light from the center of the earth, up the crystalline grid, into the roots and up through the body and the chakras, and anchoring it in the heart.
Okay, so for those unfamiliar with the crystalline grid, explain it like in layman's terms for those who may not be familiar. What is it? What are we bringing up?
So if you've ever heard of anything like ley lines or dragon lines, things like that, they're like the energetic lines that kind of pulsate and hold the planet together. And it's
Energetically.
Energetically.
Okay, cool.
And it's tapping into those energetics and using the natural, power of the earth and the crystals that are the conductors of that energy. In my terms, like that's how I view it. I've always been connected with crystals, and the crystals, they all have different energies in themselves, but they are definitely all connected to that crystalline grid.
Okay,
So
very cool.
to connect people with that and ground them that way is very helpful. And then I have them draw in the higher energy, the celestial energy through the crown chakra from the universe.
Okay, so tell people what their chakras are, the energy centers in the body.
Yeah, there are energy centers in the body. Some people say there's 7. I think there may be more than that, like 12, even some in the hands and feet. So there's minor and, major chakras, but majorly there's the 7. And I would say you could start with the root. That's red. Think of it as, Roy G. Biv. It's the rainbow. So the root chakra is red. The sacral chakra is orange. The solar plexus chakra is yellow. The heart chakra is green or pink. The throat chakra is blue. The third eye chakra is indigo, and the crown chakra is violet or white. So that is how those colors connect. But when I use kind of like the colors coming from outwardly, that's why I like to bring in the silver and the gold, because I think of those as very like, mother and father energy, universal, Mother Earth and Father Universe or Father Sky. So that's kind of how I think of it.
Very cool.
And I like
What
use
kind
those
of
colors.
do you use?
There's a little bit of a.
All right. I have a plethora here. Here's one of my crystal shells.
Oh, cool.
So I have a rose quartz skull right here. I have a piece of gypsum in the middle. Then that big black rock, that's
Obsidian. I think that's an obsidian, right? Is that correct? Okay. All right, we're losing a little bit of audio.
This guy, he's one half frozen.
Yeah.
Can you see me?
I can see you. We have a
Okay.
little bit of a time lag from
So this guy is one of my favorites. He's Serpentine, and he actually connects with the Kundalini energy, the rising of the energy of the body. And that for me helps with the creativity. So I also have a bracelet, and I also have some rosary beads that my Nana left to me after she passed away, but she got them, and I think they're from Ireland. She's Italian, but she loved them, and they're serpentine. So I thought that was really cool too. It just connects the dots,
Very cool, very cool. Before we started, go ahead. I was going to say, before we started shooting, you and Deb were talking about crystals, and you questioned him about a certain type of crystal, which you weren't in favor. What was that?
The Andara crystals.
Talk to us about the different crystals and the Andara crystals.
Those were reported to be they found them after an earthquake. A lady found them in her over in
Yeah,
California,
Mount
and she mined
Shasta.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and there's only
Uh,
so many around.
I think it depends. I think it depends where you get them, because some people will just try to sell you slab glass. So you have to be really
What is
careful
slab
where you
glass?
buy them.
Are you
Just
saying flat glass?
Colored glass.
Slab glass,
They're
colored slab
beautiful
glass.
colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you
But
get a reputable dealer, yeah.
yes, if you get a reputable dealer, then possibly. I have never seen a real Indara crystal in my life, though. And I don't
I'll show
know
you
if,
some.
yeah, maybe you can. I don't know. I don't really connect with them as much. But yeah, if you do want Indara crystals, definitely get them from a reputable source, because a lot of people will try to, cheat you.
And they say the smallest piece will work as good as the biggest piece.
Yeah.
That's what it's very
And what are they supposed to
popular.
do?
It's for
when you say
healing.
that- oh,
It's for healing.
Yeah.
And you
Okay.
don't have to, it absorbs negative energy and it just dispels it.
I get some from my sister.
They don't-
She's brutal.
Yeah.
You don't
Well,
have to
there's
clean
a
them.
lot of natural crystals too that can do that, like selenite, that completely clears energy, or satin spar.
Oh,
Quartz crystal, an amazing amplifier. You put any intention into that and it will amplify it, and it generates energy on its own.
so when you do,
I think those are very important, basic, crystals for everybody.
uh-huh.
What were you gonna say?
I was going to ask you, when you do crystal healing, what are your favorite kinds of crystals, and how do you use the crystal to facilitate the actual healing? Do you do that for yourself and other people? I know that's a lot of question all at once, but we have a little bit
No,
of a
that's
time
okay.
lag, so yeah.
So I would say I do it for myself and for other people. I use crystals a lot if I'm doing like Reiki on my family or people. I haven't done a lot of professional Reiki, honestly, but I am Reiki certified, and I do it a lot with my friends and family. And I usually will pick crystals intuitively for each person individually, because I have a big collection. So I just feel like I'll feel certain crystals that people need. A lot of the times I'll just give people crystals because I'm like, this crystal needs to go with you, or if it's someone's birthday or Christmas,
Nick,
any
crystals
gift I give them,
actually
it's
talk to
always
you.
gonna.
There's a little bit of
Whoops.
lag.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
crystals actually talk to you, don't they?
Yeah, no, they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, they
Especially
do.
like
Intuitively, they
things like
do.
crystal skull too.
Yeah.
Like those have some sort of extra human type of energy. Like when I got
Why?
this crystal skull, I think it's just the energy of it being carved in the shape of a human skull. You have that almost human recognition,
Hmm.
and it
You-
brings in this consciousness that's more recognizable.
Gotcha.
Do you know that the crystal skull represents intelligence? People have feared it because they put it, Halloween and everything, kind of scary, but it
Yeah.
actually represents intelligence.
Do you
Oh,
feel
yeah.
that way as well?
That's
What?
why that energy is so vibrant.
Do you feel that way as well?
Oh yeah, I do. I feel like they're very wise. Like they carry a lot of wisdom of the ages, and they're easier to connect to for some people because of the human head shape, and other people it does instill fear in them. So it's kind of like you have to kind of get past that fear if you are fearful of it, or just connect with the regular crystal. But I think for me, when I started using them, this one gave me like this one behind me gave me like visions right away, and it gave me like a past life regression almost, and I saw myself in standing stones and like like a stone circle, like kind of like druids around, like it seemed very ancient but like mystical, like almost like the other realm or the nether world. So yeah, so I think they carry some sort of wisdom that sometimes it's not the same in other crystals, but I think it's the way that we connect with them on that personal level.
Are you familiar with the crystal skulls that they've found in different parts of the world? They're trying to put them all
Yes.
together. I actually held
Yes.
Max, the crystal skull.
Oh
It
my
was
gosh.
amazing. It was amazing.
I would literally be so happy. I'd probably cry tears of joy if that happened to me. Oh my God. Lucky you.
He was all carved in one piece. There's no seams, nothing. It was amazing. It was amazing. It's owned by a woman in Texas.
Like, who had the technology to do that at that time?
Not here.
Who? You needed laser technology or machinery. Like there's no way to get that precision like that in a quartz crystal. You know, like that is, it's very unique.
They hold
is
information.
So what's the assumption?
Yeah, they hold information. I think they're either left. Wait, hold on. What are you saying?
I want to know where you think they come from, because I agree with you. We didn't have the technology then. So I'm wondering if you'll go into the alien realms here. Like, where did these
come from? Where I was going. Yeah, I think it has to do with some sort of alien civilization. It might be, have to do with some sort of alien technology. A lot of the time, the ancient crystal skulls aren't even human shaped necessarily. They're elongated.
Wow.
So
that's right.
Sometimes they are. Sometimes they're, the eye sockets are larger. That's on purpose, like, I think it's an ancient technology, either from extraterrestrials or humans that literally had as much technology as we have today. And honestly, where did we get that? I think we were inspired by aliens over the years. I think they come and guide us, kind of like how angels guide us spiritually. I think a lot of the times aliens and extraterrestrials will guide us society-wise and technologically a lot of the time.
That's definitely Deb's specialty. You two can have like this humongously long talk about all that good stuff. Totally.
If we could only
I love that stuff.
That these crystal skulls hold, we would know all the answers to the universe, because they say that if you put them all together, and some of them they haven't found yet. I think there's 11 of them.
I think it's 13.
Okay, 13, 11.
13, 11, whatever, Nick, whatever.
However many, whenever they get them all together.
Whatever it is,
there will be
I love it.
The thing is, they have to know, like, is this the real one? And like, it's so hard to carbon date them.
They'll know.
They just gotta they'll tell me. You're
okay.
Probably.
What is the criteria? What's the criteria? How do you know if you have a genuine crystal skull? How do you, what's the criteria? How do you know it's real?
It vibrates.
I mean, a genuine crystal skull, like, I don't think people usually own those. Like, I mean, I wouldn't say you even own them in general.
I think what? Sorry, so we're having a joke at your expense. I misunderstood what you said. I thought I have to send
they choose their guardians, actually.
Yes, that's what I was gonna get into that. Yes, they choose their guardians.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
But I
tell me.
also think that for them to be genuine, like, I don't think most of them are. Like, I know my crystal skull isn't from, anything like before Christ or anything. I think this is a modern crystal skull, but that it still has a lot of energy in itself, because stones and crystals do by themselves as well,
Right.
I think it's more like, how can you tell if a crystal is real? And that has to do with like the structure, also like the Mohs hardness test. Like, if you scratch, a piece of glass with a quartz, with quartz. Yeah. So there's different techniques that for you to be able to tell the hardness of a stone and that can tell you if the stone is genuine a lot of the time.
All right, so
Uh,
that's the criteria, how hard it is and whether
Yeah.
it vibrates.
The
is what you say?
formation,
Say what?
the
Say again?
as well. The formation.
Oh, the formation. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Cool, cool.
And of course, you have to clear it when you buy
Yeah.
a crystal. You have to
Oh, yeah.
clear it with selenite,
Selenite, satin
How
spar.
do,
salt
Or
water,
you
yeah, so how do you
Or you
clear
could put
them?
it in the moonlight. You could put it in the
Oh, I have
moonlight.
heard that.
and what?
Yeah.
Moonlight. Oh, yeah, outside.
That's probably what I do the most, actually, is I'll take them out under the full moon and just leave them out.
That was-
And then I'll try to get them in by the morning. But some of them you can leave in the sun to charge, because
oh,
the
okay.
moon clears, the sun charges. But some of them you have to be careful because it can take the color away. So you have to be careful which ones to leave in the sun. And obviously don't ever leave certain ones out if you know it's going to rain.
Some people even bury them in Mother Earth. I've heard of
Yes,
that too.
yeah. And
Yeah,
I'm sure, I mean, the natural energies of the earth,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's gonna cleanse it and charge it.
I just put it with my selenite piece.
Yeah, that's definitely like
So-
the easiest thing.
So
Yeah.
where did this interest in crystals come from? And did you formally learn, or is a lot of this you're intuiting? How did all this come about, my darling?
It's really hard to explain because I just always liked crystals. Like,
Are you drawn to them?
yes, like even when I was a little kid, like I would say like 3 and 4, like I would like collect rocks like at the beach or like outside. I would look for quartz specifically when I was younger. I could tell, you know, when I
When
was
you were
younger.
3 and 4, you knew what a quartz crystal was?
That was probably like 5, 6, you know, a little older, but
Or you
But
maybe
even
just
then,
were drawn to
younger.
them somehow?
yeah, I was always I'm saying kind of like from since I can remember, I
Mhm.
was always drawn to them. And I don't really think anyone specifically got me into them or introduced me necessarily, but my grandmother, she actually, my mom's mother, she would like kind of like foster it. She was like, okay, like he likes
Yeah.
crystals, I like
Well,
crystals.
that was
So
that
she
was
would
going to
give me
be
gifts.
that was going to be my
Yeah.
next question. Now,
Yeah.
young kids typically don't get into crystals and energy work and so on and so forth until they're a little bit older. So my mother realized I was intuitive at a very young age. So she was very good about bringing me places and having me train and whatnot. Was your family supportive of all this? What did they help? Yeah, look at that
At
face. It's
first-
like, okay.
First, no. At first, they were very fearful of it. I was brought up Roman Catholic, so there's
me
a lot
too.
of stigma against that kind of stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, they are totally fine with it now. Like now that they understand it, and like
Yeah.
I've been this way for so long, they're like, oh, it's just Nick and his crystal talk. Like even my mom gets into it. Like
Yeah.
she's like, what does one do? What should I use today for this? You know, like
Oh,
now she's
okay.
into
Well,
it.
that's cool. That's cool. They're asking
Yeah.
your advice now, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, even my dad, he's like, all right, this is cool. You know, people don't really have to be into it to feel the energy too sometimes. Like you can pick up a crystal for the first time and never have felt the energy before. But if you're open, you can receive it, you know?
Totally.
I used to collect rosary beads. And those
Yes.
beads were different,
Rosary
different
Different stones.
crystals or whatever. And that used to
Yeah.
be so pretty for me. I don't know if I
Yeah.
prayed. Well, I went to Catholic school, so we prayed on
Yeah.
yeah. But I used to love to just have a box of all kinds of beads. So
It's funny that you talk
that's
about
kind of a
rosary
kickback
beads.
too.
It's funny because you talk about rosary beads, because one of the first kind of spiritual incidents for me was, well, when I was younger, I would have kind of a lot of sleep issues because I tend to attract spirits and things, demons sometimes. So I had to protect myself, and that was originally with rosary beads. So the rosary beads really got me into, the spiritual work and kind of like the protection. And there was this thing in my family where my grandfather would talk about it, my grandmother, my nana, different sides of the family, but they always talked about the rosary beads turning gold from silver to gold. And so we were just like used to that, like normal, like that's a normal experience. I swear, like three of my rosary beads growing up, I'm pretty sure turned gold. One time I watched it happen and I was like, Mom, Dad, like there's a miracle happening. Look at this. Like I was like freaking out. They were like, oh my God, that's wild, you know?
I have to tell you, I'm totally privy to that. I have a girlfriend who sleeps with her rosary under her pillow.
Yeah.
She called me one day and she said, Joan, my rosary turned gold, my chain turned gold. And I was like, okay, you know, I'm open. I can accept, I can keep the door open.
It happens.
So she actually, wait a minute, hold that thought. She actually brought them over to me and said, just hold them, tell me what you think. And as I was holding them, they turned back to silver right in front of my eyes.
Oh my God.
So it's really hard to dismiss something like that when it happens to you, you know? It happens to someone else, you go, oh yeah, okay, I'm open, you know? But when it happens to you, that, you know, removes doubts you may have had.
Spirits were like, see, look at this, you know? They were like,
yeah.
I think it's really about faith and like,
I agree.
People, it's you believing in that thing and that's going to happen, and that belief, that power, it's magic in itself. That's magic. And the magic is all around us.
We have so many abilities that we haven't even found yet that are so inside of us that will come out. And that's one of them. Jesus turned down what? One fish? I mean, to feed 1,000 people, or, you know, in the Bible. So that will be extraordinary.
Yeah. I know religion is a whole another show. My argument is people should focus on God and never mind the religion stuff, you know?
Well,
I get into a lot of trouble that way.
Parable. But it just shows that, you know, we could manifest this. Water into wine. Hey, that's kind of great.
I think God too. God manifests in so many different forms over cultures and civilizations. I think a lot of the pantheons of gods actually could be, you know, extraterrestrials, but I might not get into that right now. But some of them I do believe, like the Anunnaki, that's very clear, you know, they're from a specific planet, you know. I think
not gods.
Nibiru or something.
But they're not gods.
So specific. Yeah.
Well, I think, you know, there's so many galaxies out there, and there are like totally billions of stars in every galaxy. So it would be near impossible for us to have the only planet that has intelligent life on it. Yet some people steadfastly disagree with that. And it always takes me by surprise.
I know.
Because it seems almost
that's kind of close-minded.
Well,
really?
you know, it is what it is. Everyone has a different perspective.
I almost feel like at this point, like my generation, we're like, okay, it's obvious. You know, like there's been so many sightings, so many people believe it, like it's obvious, it's the fact. Like that's how it more is with my generation. Rather, when I feel like the older generations, it's like a political discussion.
Well, maybe you're right. You know what? In our line of work, we do not find that. We find that more people kind of accept the idea. But there are a few throwbacks. You're absolutely right. So people your age, you find, you guys talk about that? Like you sit around and talk about these things? Okay,
yes, cool. Even people who aren't spiritual, I would say do. Yeah.
You haven't been brainwashed yet.
Do you hold meetings, meditation meetings, or gather with people of like mind? How do you facilitate your own belief? Do you meditate yourself?
Yes, I would say I meditate a lot by myself. I like the other day, I literally just went into nature, found a spot where nobody else was. Nice. And meditated there. You know, that for me, connecting with the earth and nature by itself, just by myself, was so perfect in that time.
Okay, when you say connecting with nature, what's the actual steps that you take for someone who wants to know that peace, wants to make that connection? What are the actual steps? Do you actually go sit on the ground and what? You
Yeah.
imagine what's around you? What are the actual steps a person could take to help facilitate that?
Well, I just, kind of like
Without
the meditation
mushrooms.
like
No.
I talked about in the beginning, like kind of like the crystal grid, and like I
Yeah.
actually found a nice rock to sit on, like a flat rock.
Okay. Yeah.
And I got like at a really high up place where the sun was like hitting me, and I was
Mhm.
in the sun, and that for me was like the perfect balance of being exposed to the sky and being connected with the ground.
So are you focusing? So you're sitting there, are you focusing on the sunshine that you feel?
Yeah,
That's
I'm
the
focusing on the
process?
feelings, the sounds, just that present moment.
Okay.
And for some reason, it almost feels like your awareness opens up into like almost this like hive mind consciousness of the environment. And
I
it's just a completely different consciousness than the human style consciousness.
People ask me about meditation all the time, and I basically tell them there really is not a wrong way to do it. If they're
No,
asking for guidance, then
yeah,
let this stuff come. If you're trying to quiet the mind, then say thanks and push it
yeah,
aside. But, I really feel like people have a hard time with the whole meditation thing. Yet every successful person I know meditates. So
yeah.
is there a wrong
I
way to
feel like
meditate? What's your take on this?
no, I don't think that there's necessarily a wrong way. I think there are a few key things that you do need. Like you need to just, breathe properly.
How do you
You can
breathe
breathe
properly?
nat you can breathe naturally, but like you just have to be breathing like, thoroughly, I guess. Like at a proper pace. Even if it's just your natural pace, I would say that's the best pace.
Okay.
But
That makes sense.
sometimes that deep breath work is what people really need because they need to really absorb that energy more so. But some people, they're kind of already in that zone of energy and they can just breathe at a natural pace. So it works different with everybody, I feel like. And I also think that you can imagine things or you can connect with what's there. And I think I like to do both. Like I like to imagine things and kind of connect with what's there in the present moment, kind of almost like a surrealist painting, like
Good for you.
nature and metaphysical all at once,
I love it. I love it. Okay. And that's, you try to get people to connect with the energy
Yeah,
that's around them and so on and so forth. And,
yeah,
and so the painting is part of that. So
yeah,
I'm going to actually, I have my painting here and I want to
yeah,
show it off. So
yes.
you guys talk about what that was about. You know what? I didn't think of it, but I know we
I
have
have some
pictures.
paintings too behind me that I could talk about.
Yes, we definitely want you to talk about them. Plus, I have your picture, a picture of your picture here. Share screen. Too. So, talk to us about your pictures.
Yeah, I can go into the pictures. Let me flip. My cat's really cute right there, sleeping. Percy boy. All right, so here's one of them. This was kind of it was a symbol, like an activation symbol.
Yeah.
That was the topic. And this kind of felt like to me like two dimensions like meeting in the middle.
Cool.
And all of that kind of like polarity and oneness in like kind of one painting.
Hold it
Is what I
closer. Hold it closer. Is there angels and doves and stuff in there?
Yes, this is
Oh,
two doves. There's like an orange dove and
oh.
like a white silver dove.
You know something? The one on the bottom I actually thought was an angel. And the item on the right side looks like a glass with sand in it. Right?
Yes, like a weird
Spider with the
hourglass.
sand in it. The
Yes,
sands of time, right?
yes. It kind of
Amazing.
reminds me of like molecules splitting or something too.
Cool. Yeah.
And then I have this kind of this symbol is a very important symbol to me because I just randomly started drawing the symbol as, you know, like I think I was in 7th grade when I started drawing it specifically, and I haven't stopped. It always comes back.
So
That's the infinity, isn't it? The infinity symbol?
It's kind of like the infinity symbol,
diamond
but it's
shape.
almost like it has those 2 diamonds in the middle.
Yeah,
And
that's what I was
sometimes,
thinking.
and usually that my symbol's usually vertical, but sometimes it can also be a cross and go out the opposite direction as well.
Okay. And what does
But
that mean to you? What does that mean to you?
for me, it means almost like, you know what, one of my mediums who I was really good friend, who I'm really close with, he's amazing. His name's Brett San Antonio. But he told me, we had a discussion about it, he told me that it was the crystalline activation symbol, and that it activates the crystalline body and the 5th dimensional consciousness.
Okay, so now, of course, you got to tell me what that's all about. The crystalline
Quantum.
consciousness, is that what you called it?
Yeah, it's like a crystalline activation code. And I would
What am I
say
activating? What are you activating?
it's almost like a layer, layer of skin, almost like a layer of the energetic field, but it's physical. It's like in between physical and metaphysical.
Okay. All right. That helps me.
It's like a metamorphosis. Like we're in the cocoon. We're caterpillars in a cocoon. And right now I feel like we're transforming into like a new era of existence, like a renaissance, you know, a new age. We're in a new age. And I think that's really what it represents, that transformation.
Nice. Very nice.
How long ago did you do that?
I would say I did this in December.
Oh, recent. Okay.
Yeah. And then this guy right here.
Cool.
The green man. I really enjoy this present. It kind of looks like me a little bit, but that's, artists tend to do that by mistake, but
make them look like themselves or what they hope they look like. Yeah.
Oh, I think you look much better than him.
Thank you.
Well, I have to say it is looks religious in content only because of the halo behind the head.
Yeah, I would say it's more spiritual, but yes,
spiritual.
I could see how it looks. I wanted to capture like a Renaissance feel with kind of like a almost like Art Nouveau reboot.
Aha, good for you. Nice.
Yeah.
So
kind of expressionistic too. I like that feeling.
Yeah. Okay, so tell us about this picture and what it represents. Okay, I like the idea that the halo is spiritual because it brings in spiritual content.
The halo is also actually the setting sun itself.
Okay. And the colors. What do colors mean?
What?
Colors. What do the colors mean? Do they have a specific meaning? Like
yes.
Okay, cool.
So I would say I used a lot of some like pinks and purples and blues and like the sky background. And for me, that means, you know, balance of masculine and feminine energies.
Cool.
And purple is that spiritual kind of energy, that higher crown chakra type of focus. But then this like rich gold and yellow energy, that kind of is like a divine masculine kind of like almost like you could say Christ consciousness, but I would say it's more of like a revolutionary, like Renaissance type of consciousness that appears during awakenings.
Nice. So I have to ask about the trees because I read tarot cards and there's a lot of symbolism in the tarot. So do the trees mean anything in the picture?
I would say that I love the types of trees that I use, like the birch and the pine trees. They're just, I've always grown up around those kinds of trees in New Hampshire. So for me, it's really connecting with the environment and just being in that state. But the shapes that I use specifically, I tried to emulate the sign of the runic sign of protection, which is kind of like a 3-pronged fork upwards.
Okay, cool.
And I love runes. Like I have runes tattooed on my fingers.
I love it.
Yeah.
Do you read runes?
Yes. So I do read runes. I have these guys.
Yeah.
They're actually rose quartz runes. So
Oh my God, I'm in love. I love
Let's see
rose
it.
quartz.
Ooh, this one's fire opening.
Look at that.
Element
That is awesome.
fire. Opening that this is like kind of like the beginning of an initiation.
Okay, I have a proposition for you. If you do
Yes.
a rune reading for me, I'll do a tarot reading for you. We'll barter.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, you're a witness.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm invited.
No, you're a witness. She's not
Are
invited.
we doing this right now?
No. But I just
Okay.
wanted to see if you would be willing to do one. And like I
Oh,
said,
yeah.
I'll do a reading, you do, and I
I
actually
will
have runes as well, but those are absolutely beautiful.
Are you kidding? I love to trade readings with my friends all the time.
I'm sure. I'm telling her it's okay. You'll do one for her too.
Oh yeah, I will.
There you go. All right. I think that is exciting. So what we would like to do is there's so much information here. We'd like to have you back a second time to talk about some of you're very eclectic. You have a lot of stuff going on and you seem very well-rounded energetically, certainly. And I think people can learn a lot from that. And I particularly like the idea that you're so young, because usually in our line of work, people are our age or close to our age. So it's nice to see a young person who's so in tune and in touch.
Thank you.
That's very cool.
So
we'd like to have you come back because I know there's a lot of stuff that we have not touched on at all.
Yeah. I mean, I could talk all day to you guys. We could go on forever.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. You have a lot to say. And I just, for our second part, we would like to talk about maybe even, we could get a little bit more controversial, maybe. We'll check that out and see how everyone feels. But I would also love it if you would come to my art studio and do a demo, because we were so enchanted by what happened at your studio. It would be really cool to have it on, have it recorded. And I can maybe do the recording and you guys can kind of sit and we can watch Nick kind of do his thing. You'd be open to that, my darling?
I'm totally open to it.
So easy to get along with. I love it. Can I show off my picture that I did at your
yes,
place?
Please.
This is it.
Look at that.
Eyeballs. Someone said to me, why are those eyeballs like that?
The color palette's outstanding.
Thank you. Rose gold is actually my favorite color. And so I knew it had to be rose gold. And when you were asking us to kind of connect, I thought for the longest time, my job on the earth was to create and hold a sacred space in the earth. So this is me doing that for the earth and through caring and through love. So that's how I came up with that.
I feel like the colors too are very connected with the heart chakra and femininity.
Yeah, well, true.
But also connected to the earth star chakra, which is an extra chakra in the 12 chakra system. It's the one actually below your feet that you connect with the center of the earth with. And that you said you feel like a part of your purpose was to hold a space on the earth.
Definitely.
For people, that I feel like that is one of your purposes, because look what we're doing right here. You're holding a space.
Right.
Have a conversation.
I'll tell you, intuitive body and soul. The goal of the show is to kind of find people who make the world a better place by using their passion to do just that. Okay, so if you could do anything in the world that you wanted to do, you'd probably be doing this. Okay, but it's not just I love doing this. You want to help other people get there. Okay.
Yeah.
So to me, that's what this is all about. People using their passion to make the world a better place. If you're not doing that, don't do it. Go do something else.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, totally.
Also, if you're not happy, you can't just keep doing something every day that you're not happy with. You have to love your life.
Yeah.
You have to live with you every day. So why not make the world a better place and follow your heart?
I'm hoping that things are different now, but I read something that only 1% of the workforce actually does for work something they love to do, which is an extremely small
Well, I love
percentage.
to do what I do.
Well, you're in that small
I
percentage.
do hospice.
And
Yeah.
And my gift is
okay.
my gift. Well, you already told them about your gift, so I can tell them about mine. My gift is crossing over souls that are stuck here.
Oh, that is beautiful. That's that's very needed
So
too.
even though we have different gifts, it's helping humanity.
Yeah.
So if we kind of backtrack a little bit here, what I wanted to say
Give
is
my
that,
2 cents.
no. Yeah, just wait though. Give me a chance.
Yeah.
Let me finish my thought before
Go
I
ahead,
forget it.
go
I'm
ahead,
getting
I'm
old. So my thought is that, at this point, I'm kind of retired. I say semi-retired. People laugh at me. But what I wanted to say is that because I was able to do something that I really loved for work, which was art and energy work, okay, just because you reach a certain age, you can say, okay, I'm retired now. I haven't stopped doing those things. I still do art. I still do energy work because it's who I am.
It
I will
is.
say that I do less of it. Okay. So instead of 8 classes a week, I only do 3 or 4 and so on.
Mhm.
So, but when what you do for work is part of who you are, I think that you will continue to do that and hopefully get, like better and better at it and stuff like that. So
Thank
at
you.
such a young, tender age, just imagine you're going to be like a wizard. You kind of already are.
That's the goal. That's the life goal. I want to be like an old Merlin.
We turn it the other way. Okay.
Uh,
We have a halo here.
yeah.
All right.
Uh,
Sorry. I'm going to just reach across you for 1 second. Okay. See. All right. I am going to fix that. You talk. You talk, baby.
so I loved what you were saying, Debbie, about how you cross over the souls that tend to get stuck here, because that does happen. And like, I feel like souls, when they're leaving, they do sometimes need the extra push in the right direction to be like, here you go, like you're gonna like this option better, like peacefully, it's more of a peaceful transition if you have someone there helping you through it.
Well, also their family helps them, their guides help them, but don't forget we have free will. And sometimes you're attached to money, property, and family that doesn't want you to go. So,
Yeah.
a little encouragement and a little bit sometimes telling them what's on the other side of the door helps a lot.
You have an aura about you. I'm like readjusting the windows and doing all kinds of stuff, trying to
The
get
sun came in.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, we lost you, Nick.
Yeah, I think are you still with us, Nick?
Hello.
Oh, okay. We lost you. We lost your
guys there?
video feed. Yeah, we're here. Can you hear us?
There you are.
There you are.
Okay, yeah, I can hear you now.
There
All
you
right, we're back.
You're back.
So we can talk about that at some point.
Yeah, I would love to.
It's amazing. I have many stories. Don't forget, I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, that's what I love about talking to like older, wiser people who have been doing this forever. It's just like you guys have.
We're making a joke. Sorry.
You have such a valuable perspective that I needed people like you to be on this earth, to be able for me to be me at this time. Like I wouldn't be able to be who I am without people like you.
Well, it's good to have teachers.
Plus you guys were talking about waves, right? Waves of energy coming in and waves of people coming in. And you thought that you were a star seed child, right?
Yeah, a star seed crystal child.
Crystal child. Okay,
so
what is it? Tell us what it is.
Okay, so I would say star seeds are souls that originate on other planets and other galaxies.
Oh.
So I have a hard time pinpointing which starseed exactly I am, because I feel like I've had a lot of incarnations in different star systems,
Okay.
but because I do feel connected. I just feel connected to multiple ones, but I do feel very connected to the Yael alien race, especially because they're not really mentioned a lot, but they
I don't think
are.
I've heard of them.
Where'd you get that?
So the Yael are also called I think they're called the Astasani as well, or the Shalanaya. They have multiple different names, but who they are is there are descendants. So they
Oh.
are like our children in a sense of us. They're basically our descendants hybridized with multiple different alien races. So they're very genetically mixed creatures. They're
So,
hybrids.
Were you told this
And
in a session? Were you told
I
that?
was told this. I was told this. My medium friend Brett, he's very knowledgeable. He literally told me that I was gonna have connections with extraterrestrials. And I think about 6 months later, I started seeing UFOs. Like, I want to say I saw UFOs on a regular basis for about 9 months, a period of like 9 months. And it was wild because I wasn't even alone half the time when I would see the UFO. Like, my boyfriend seen it with me. My ex's sister saw them with me. So just like a bunch of random situations where they would pop in.
Wow.
And it looked like the UFO that I would see would be like a black triangle with like a red circle in the middle and 3 white lights on the edges. But then other times I would see almost like a spinning Merkaba looking sphere that pulsated different colors. So I would see that. And then one time there was a situation where I was sitting out in the front porch with my ex-boyfriend at the time. And literally out of nowhere, I see this like white sphere come down. And then it goes into like a tree. And a lightning bolt just shoots from the tree. And it's a clear night. There's no clouds, no lightning. A lightning bolt shoots from the tree to the power line.
Oh.
It was wild, but I knew in that moment, I was like, this is very extraterrestrial, because you just get that energy when things like that happen.
It's not of this world.
But yeah, I am very connected in that sense where I do have a lot of UFO sightings. I've had instances where I do wake up and I know that I'm not alone in the room. I have dreams of being on like ships and stuff, but I don't know if I have a remembrance of it, but who knows, they might wipe my memory. I have a lot of memory issues in general, so I don't know.
I've heard of
I
that.
don't think I'm meant to know at this time. Yeah. I think they kind of give you doses of knowledge, because otherwise, if I knew everything that I'm supposed to know now throughout time, people might think I'm crazy now, you know? People already think I'm crazy. So if there was more than going on.
When you're ready. You get the knowledge when you're ready.
Yeah.
You're only 23. So
yeah,
just wait.
I'm waiting. It's funny though, the UFOs were like for like a short, like that 9-month period. After that was like, see ya, sayonara. Haven't seen them since.
Really?
Like, I'm like, okay, I'm like waiting. I like look up every night.
Get indoctrinated.
Are you gonna go back? Or you but
we'll have
I also
a conversation about that. We'll have a good
What?
conversation about that.
Yeah,
Yes.
Deb has a lot. You two have a lot in common.
Lots
in
of
that area.
stories.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm an experiencer.
I love experiences like that.
Yeah, she has a lot of unique stories and
Yeah.
compelling, so you'll enjoy them. All right. I want to know, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What are you hoping to accomplish?
So where I see myself in 5 years is definitely a challenge, but I am moving to Portland hopefully this summer, and I'm going to go back to art school, kind of hone in more of those technical skills on the artistic plane, you know. But I think being in Portland is definitely different than being around here, because even just walking around the streets, everyone's a little funky there. And I feel like I might fit in more there, you know,
You'll
like
be
I'll
right
be
at
able to stumble
home.
over. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, I'll maybe be more at home.
Okay, so if people want to get to know more about you, and we do want to schedule in a second and third show, but in the
Yes.
meantime, how can they get a hold of you if they want to know more about you or talk to you about what you do? How can people?
I would say the best place would be Instagram. My Instagram is Deeper Levels, one word. And you could just direct message me on there, or leave me a comment or a story, or you could send me a Facebook message. I have Facebook Messenger. I don't go on Facebook, so if you left me like a post or something, I wouldn't see it. But if you messaged me on Messenger, then I would get it.
How about phone? Are you open to that, or is that just something for your private use?
Yeah, people are welcome to call me. My phone number is 603-327-4320. And you could call me or text me,
Great.
or you could reach out on my email, which is nicholaslewis2323@gmail.com. But the Nicholas is spelled without an H.
Yeah.
And the Lewis is Lou.
Oh, okay.
But if you're interested in a paint night or anything like that, you could go to heavenandearthllc.com, and that's you'll see like a picture of Kelly pop up. She's the owner of the shop, and
Okay. Well,
you can go under
is
events and
is
you
a
can find me there.
nonprofit. Okay, BATV is a
Yes.
nonprofit. So if people want to know more
Yeah.
about that, they would have to get in contact with you. Okay, darling?
Yes. Okay. Yes.
All right. Yes. All right. Well, we are totally thrilled with having you here, and we're going to end the session certainly, but stay on a little bit longer so we can schedule a second one with you, if that's okay with you.
Yes.
And
I'm excited. Yeah.
it's totally awesome. Thank you so very much. Okay. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you for the opportunity. I love learning from you guys.
You
Seriously.
are so very welcome, my dear. New
Thank you.
generation.